am at Streaming Media West 2013 in Huntington Beach, California. And I'm talking to Steve Shannon, who is the GM of Content and Services for Roku.
That is correct.
And Steve, you just got done speaking on a panel about the business of TV everywhere. And we'll get to that in just a minute, a little bit about TV everywhere. But first, let's talk a little bit about Roku, because I mean, Roku is still the far and away the leading set-top box on the market.
Thank you. Indeed, it's true.
Why do you think that is? What is it about the Roku that has caught the attention of the average consumer so strongly?
Because we're awesome. We have by far the richest content offering of any over-the-top service, and it's just extremely easy to use. So the experience is dead simple, and but the content is just this incredibly wide array, 1,200 channels that people can access.
So how important, now obviously there's the Netflixes and the Hulu and Amazon and the big names, but there's also, as you said, there's 1,200 channels total. That's a tremendous amount of content. How important is all that long tail? Are we still talking about the long tail?
The long tail, yeah.
How important are those long tail channels to what the Roku's been able to achieve?
They are very important. You know, what's a very common anecdote is that, you know, most folks will have Netflix or Hulu and you know, maybe Amazon, or they'll use another movie store like an MGO, and maybe some TV Everywhere channels. We just added Watch ESPN, and we have HBO Go and things like that. So of course that's what folks use as sort of the, you know, the mainstay. But most households will have something that they're passionate about that's in the long tail. It could be, you know, yoga, it could be something spiritual, it could be, you know, anime, it could be some sports, it could be foreign language programming. It's all over the map, really. But the passions, as you know, they vary widely, and most households have somebody that's passionate about something that's not in the mainstream, and they can find it on Roku. Right.
Do you think there's any danger of consumers getting overwhelmed by that many channels on the Roku, and how are you helping consumers navigate through that content, and how do you plan to do that more in the future?
Not really, to be honest.
Okay.
I mean, you know, are consumers overwhelmed by the number of computer games? Are they overwhelmed by the number of TV shows? Are they overwhelmed by the number of apps in the iPhone App Store? I mean, yeah, you could look at it that way, but the other side of it is it's breadth, it's choice, it's all good, right? And yes, we do have to do a good job of providing a really easy user interface for folks to get there. But, you know, people tend to find out about the channels that they want through, say, their friends, or maybe, you know, social media type websites, or through promotion on Roku or on other platforms. They don't find it by hunting and pecking around the UI. So they'll usually come and they'll sit down and say, you know what, I want machinima because I'm a computer gamer and I want to get, you know, all these videos about computer gaming. And when you know what you're looking for, it's very easy to get to.
Right. Now, as I said earlier, you were on a panel earlier about TV everywhere and the business of TV everywhere. How bullish is Roku on TV everywhere offerings like the ESPN offering you mentioned before, HBO Go?
We're very bullish about TV everywhere. I mean, I think it's transformative for the industry, for the pay TV industry. You know, pay TV industry needs to respond to all of the internet-only content, which will apply margin pressures and potentially cause churn and things like that. And I think TV everywhere is a great answer for them. You know, the idea is that now you have programmers like ESPN or MTV or Nickelodeon or Fox or HBO who can now not only provide video, but they can provide software as part of their experience, right? And when you think about HBO catering to their user and Nickelodeon catering to their user, maybe adding games, and ESPN catering to their user with maybe, you know, highlights and stats and things, and, you know, maybe Fox Now catering with, you know, interactivity around American Idol, or I'm just making stuff up, but these programmers know their audiences better than anyone, and so they can build the most appropriate experience, the most appropriate front end for their content and giving them the ability to do that is just going to deliver a whole new suite of value proposition into the pay TV bundle, and I think really will help preserve it, and it'll be really fun for the consumers to enjoy.
Right. Do you see devices like the Roku helping attract some of the people who have been cord cutters or maybe even cord nevers, actually attracting them back to or for the first time to pay TV services?
I do, absolutely. It's paradoxical because we'll get painted with the cord cutter brush regularly, but the reality is that I believe when you put a Roku box next to a cable box, that cable subscriber is less likely to churn. And that's not what people expect about us, but the reason is because of TV Everywhere. For example, if they start using HBO Go on Roku, it's by far the best way to watch HBO. And it's wonderful, the breadth of the content, the quality of the content, the experience navigating into the content is top notch. And so it just makes people feel that much more positive about their pay TV subscription that they shell out every month.
Right. And so there are also people, though, who are still making passionate arguments for a la carte content. Do you see that happening ever?
The idea of
an HBO or an ESPN
going, I haven't seen, chinks in that armor, to be honest. What I do see is those major programmers, not specifically HBO or ESPN, but really most of them starting to develop digital offerings. So offerings that will be specifically focused for people who maybe don't have a pay TV subscription or maybe want to buy more content on top of what they have. And I think those offerings have become increasingly powerful. So it's not a direct chip off of the bundle, but a lot more content production that is being sold outside the pay TV traditional market.
All right, well, thanks, Steve, for your perspective on TV Everywhere and for a little bit more about Roku. I'm Eric Schumacher Rasmussen, coming to you almost live from Streaming Media West in Huntington Beach. Thanks again.
Thank you.